So good evening all and welcome to week 2, day 1. So today we'll be actually taking Kali Linux. We'll review what we did last week. Then we'll now actually touch tools on the surface. So can somebody tell me how many tools, level of tools are pre-installed? Because all you'll be doing all through your lab is different. You'll be exposed to different tools. Now, your knowledge about the in-depth of those tools at different module level and how you are able to apply them in scenario makes you what expert. You understand? So when you say anything is all about tools, the amount of tools you know, the amount of tools you can use, and the amount of tools you are exposed to. Now there is more than 600 pre-programmed tools already in Kali Linux. This is my root. So we'll dive deep into that. This is one tool I'm looking at, Ghost Fisher. Let me clear cd dot. So it's all about tools. What we use here are just tools. So we'll just brush through. I think we are still 7. Let me wait till about 10 minutes past 7:40 before we start so that we'll have a full house. But let me share my screen while we're waiting. So we looked at first thing we looked at last week was, let me see if it's here. One of the things we looked at last week was this. Okay. I'm going to just bring it out so that we can look at it. We looked at this last week. And I'm sure somebody can actually speak and actually just enumerate more on that so that we can do some revisions. Then one of the things we looked at is SSH, secure shell, logging into another system as a user and as a root. So can somebody just shed light on what we did last week before we actually start diving into this week? You want to talk? Because I'm hearing a voice. Okay. I don't know why everybody's always so quiet. Now, I said that root, anytime you're on root, you're actually on bin, boot, etc user, var, bin, and we actually watched how we navigate down to those places. If you take your cd dot, you come here, uls, these are all the files you are looking at in those places. Now, this is the base file. Now, we still looked at this place. What is this place called? 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 So we looked at all those discussion last class. Can somebody tell me what this is? Sorry. I think that was the last thing we treated in the last class. Can somebody tell me 1, 2, 3, then 4? Sorry. Can somebody tell me about that? Hello, I'm not hearing anybody. Are you guys here with me? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and talk. Please, it's an interactive class. Can somebody actually tell me what those things are? Okay, can you actually, okay, can you just write in a script personally, jot on your own script what you learned last week in the next 20 minutes? Everybody, please. We'll pause here till we get response from everybody. What we learned last week, just let from the first, I think we had 5-day class. 3 is Linux, then 2 is Python. Just tell me what you learned in those 3 days. Or put up your Metasploit table and arc into either of the system and send a snapshot. We're not learning these things actually to just keep them aside. You are learning them to keep doing it, because the more tools you add, the more voluminous it becomes. These are just 13 breakdowns of tools. All these are tools. Inside one of those, these are like 10 tools. So when 10 times 13, that's 130 tools. So how can your brain carry them if we don't know that you are not actually, you are not forgetting what you are learning? That for is not root prompt. That thing is super user. The first one is user, the other one is terminal. Then that fourth one is what? You see that you're a super user. Now we looked at something like this. We looked at something like this, and no, not this. I think it's password. Yeah, we looked at something like this and we actually labeled it. What is the meaning of everything here? Can somebody actually explain this to us? Can somebody explain that? What is this? What is this X? What is this? What is this? What is this What is this Solomon? What are these command? And what is this Bimbat? Can somebody explain that? That's
Good
not
evening.
current user and password. That's not current user and password.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes. Um, that Solomon is the user. The X is the password. The first number, which is 102, that is the GNG. GI, that is UID, which is user identity number. Then the next one is group identity number. Then then we have the home directory, and then we have share login.
Yes, you got it, but you skipped some things. Can some you skipped there are about seven there are 7 items there.
Yes, I skipped Gecko.
Okay, good. What Jenko?
That is the field containing the list of commas separating values.
Okay.
It may contain the phone number, the full name of the user.
Okay. Okay. See, I've thought how we can write a test, but the fact that it's virtual, we have to set up a portal where you log in and actually it's timing you. We are looking at doing something like that because after the only it's at the simulator only that your test of knowledge is actually, because when you waste so much time, it shows clearly you don't know what you're doing and you don't understand the next thing to do. Okay, can somebody actually properly explain this to me? This root, because we always be referring to this file hierarchy. Can somebody, sorry, explain it to me? Can somebody explain this file hierarchy to me? Nobody's talking. Okay. Somebody wants to say something, or I should call you by name so that you can answer the question. Okay, let me make it.
Hello, boss. For the file hierarchy, it is you start from the root.
Sorry.
The root is divided into.
Sorry. When you start, before you start talking, introduce yourself, your name, then you can start talking so that we can know who is talking. Okay, you can start now.
My name is Bolao.
Okay. You can start.
So for the finance system hierarchy, you start from the root. So the root is like this. That is the super user, the overall folder, and it is divided into bin, the bin folder directory, rather the bin directory, the boot directory, the XC directory, the user directory, the var directory, and the sbin directory. And there are other directory like the dev directory, the library, media.
Okay, which of the directory owns all these lists, print working directory? Where do you get all those echo login?
You get that one in the slash bin. Slash bin, yes.
Okay, slash bin file.
That's where you get your list, the make directory.
What does the slash boot file do? What is its responsibility?
The slash boot file contains.
To make this session more interactive, I'll be bringing interview questions on what you have, so that I'll be asking you so that you start getting used to it. You can continue.
Yes, the slash bin file contains the the boot file contains the bootable, the bootloader files, rather. The slash boot file contains the bootloader files, which are the kernel, and the likes.
Okay, now that means if you interrupt a system, I don't know, was it you that actually forgot your password and we had to interrupt the system? Now, when
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, when you are interrupting the system at that point, what exactly what bin are you interfacing with? When you are interrupting the boot up,
is the slash boot.
Okay, good. What particular which of the particular place will you actually be interrupting there?
I think it's the boot, the reboot system that file that we tried to modify to change the. I forgot what we really changed that day. I know we alter a particular value that makes us to able to bypass the the, uh, the password that was there, so that we can be able to modify it to another password.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody else wants to give it a try? Add to what he has said. Can somebody else want to add to what he has said? Now you should understand the file process boot up. I don't know if there's a name Microsoft Advanced Systems Engineer here. Now, by the time you actually go into, by the time you start looking at some vulnerability assessment command, you see that there is Cisco command in this Linux. Part of the, you know why? It's because most of the networks you actually will trying to hack, their routers and switches are actually Cisco. You will learn the commands here today. So there is a need for you to understand this thing at this level. Try to give it, like I said, that you don't ever win with a landslide. You win with a nose edge. That little details that you know might be what. So we like this guy is more detailed in his explanation. You understand? So you don't win with a landslide. You win with a nose edge. Now, looking at this, you'll be able to actually break down. Mr. Chinonso, I don't really know. Chukunonso, sorry. I don't know where exactly you are lost. This is the first class we took on Kali Linux. So we are just trying to actually do a refresh before we actually now look at tools, before we now actually now move into batch scripting, before we now move into Linux, some aspect of Linux hacking. So with that, you already have covered every aspect of Linux. So once you get into the simulator, all you're doing is just refreshing and actually gaining experience. So there's no two things you're going to learn that has not been. You did not attend any of the Linux classes last week. Wow. Oh. You should have actually said that when you were actually discussing with me. I would have shared all the videos with you. Well, we are doing a refresher for the next 30 minutes, so you can put your ears down and listen to what we're doing. Now, basically, you won't actually go far if you don't have a mastery of this architecture. Why? Because you are not dealing with GUI. Like I told you guys, I was actually trying to look at this tool so that you can see that what you are doing is not far. I downloaded this from, GitHub, so that you can see that ls. Okay, so change good, so that you can see the content of most of these tools. That's why people, I think they tell you, learn how to write your own tool. Learn how to write your own tool. So this particular tool is actually available on GitHub. So when you ls, you see that I have actually converted it to an executable file. Now this Ghost Fisher, it's actually used to crack wireless. So that I can show you where I downloaded. But by the time I open up it's a Python script. By the time I open it up, you see Ghost Fisher. Okay. So this is where it's been downloaded from. Are you seeing? So now let's open it up. That is why when they say it's good, you know how to write script so that it's there. Now when you actually ls, you see that there's a script. What you just need to do, gedit ghost.py. It's just a 21 script. I seen it. As simple as it is actually there on GitHub. So what it means is that if you to learn how to actually code Python properly, you will be uploading your stuff to GitHub. So you see why it is key that you learn this part so that you don't become what the stereotype a stereotype cybersecurity professional who does not understand, or you don't need to bother yourself about understanding this. Now when we get to writing code, you would have gone very far. Who does not actually understand what it means to actually read scripts and actually modify it. So having said that, coming back to this place is very key. You understand the breakdown of this. So most of those things you see, you actually touching base with the best hands and minds in the world. So we are giving it to you raw from the oven, the way it is, so that when you talk, you are standing out of the crowd. Most of the guys you see working and earning maybe mid-entry, they did not know this deep when they were coming in. They came in as an intern, they were trained a little bit, and they start learning on the job. If some MSS, if they're the one training you, they tell you they hold you down for 4 years. Some MSS, managed security service, they tell you they will hold you down for 4 years. Now, what you are looking at are the breakdown of the file architecture. You should be able to actually state specifically where all these files is now. Where is auth.log? Where can we get hot.log? When you are looking for authentication, authentication is under where?
It's under the var.
Good. Now, when we're looking at password files is actually under an hash file. They're under where?
Etc.
Etc file. These are things you should know. Yeah. You should know. Now, when you want to fast boot a system or reboot a system or do something where all this IF config, those are the things you should have practiced. Those ones are in what? SBIN file. So apart from saying it, we went ahead to show you we got here, we were able to cut. Let's auth.log is here, right? We're able to cut auth.log. So that's how far I will go on this. The rest is practice time. Now we looked at another stuff more intricately, which is what file permission. I think the last time we treated it here, we were looking at it at another level. Now, when we say a list, it shows you what all the files and directories within that particular terminal under the directory. Now, if you want to look at it at file level, you can say ls/la. You call out the file. Let's say adada.txt. Now we look at attributes. Now all those things you see tells you the owner of the file, the group owner, and other. That is what this means. We looked at all this intricately and how you can change them the way you like. Either change group, change owner. Now, what command do you use to actually change both the owner of the file and the group owner? What command? Can somebody write the command out for me? We looked at all those things the last time we had the class. What command do you actually use to actually change? Sorry. Yeah, write the full command. Write the full command out. As if you want to change. This is my IF config. You understand? Let's build capacity from IF config. Now, okay, sorry, there's no need to say. Now let's say clear. Let's say we want to change ls/la adada.txt. Now change that particular the change one to root, change the other one to Kali. Write out the command, please. Okay, how do you change? How do you change? Okay, how do you change only the user group? Okay, I think the next thing we should do, set up your this thing, set up your on your system, set up your this thing, your Metasploit table, then hack from one place to the other. Do all the hackings we did. Everybody, please set up your Metasploit table. Move from Kali to the Metasploit table as what? As MSF admin. Move from Kali to the Metasploit table as what? As root. Let's take the next 20 minutes to do that. So as you are doing it, snap and actually send to me in real time. I'm coming. Just give me five minutes. So sorry. Okay. No, this is not what I said. We've actually. Okay, yeah. What I'm saying we should do. Let's make our class more practical as possible. What I'm saying we should do is, can you bring up? Can you bring up your Metasploit table? I think I have, let me see. Is mine still up? I'm just seeing it here. I don't know if it's actually still. I just closed it. Okay. Let me bring it back up. So that you don't forget what we have learned, because we are not in scenario yet. There's every tendency that you learn and you forget, and which is actually not good for us, because it will be as if you've not been taught. So let's actually just take some time to practice around what you have been taught. So open. Mine is on the desktop. So this is my Metasploit table. So I can resume. It comes up. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So let's, okay. Can you try to log in as MSF admin, exit and log in as MSF admin? Mr. Chukunonso, Mr. Ekene Ajike, I'm not seeing
I'm here, sir.
Mr. Okay, are you following us on what we're doing?
Yes, I'm following. Well, I would probably still have to go back to the previous lectures so that it would add up well in my head. But I'm following this current class.
Okay, that's Mr. Chukunonso, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the videos are actually very comprehensive, so you can just actually play around it. I didn't know you didn't attend any of the classes. Mr. Yusuf Abdurrahman, you're actually using MSF console. We're not using MSF console, we're using Metasploit table. Like I said, download the Metasploit table and just upload it the way you upload your Kali Linux into your Mac system. That's the way you do it. You don't use it's Metasploit table, not MSF console. So it's Metasploit table, not MSF console. So this one is still booting up. I can't remember the password I use. Okay. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Are you guys using 4G MiFi? Because I wouldn't want us to be having this particular stuff in the main training. Are you guys using 4G MiFi? So I actually want to know. So if I say SU. Okay. No root. I'm not a super user. So let me just do this example. Yeah. Sorry, let me be sure I'm not making mistake. So that's it. It's as simple and straightforward as that. So as we get through how will I put it? So I can exit, I can try root. So it's good we actually remind ourselves root at I am root. So it's we've logged, that means we've moved from one system to the other system. So this is we can say but this is strictly an exploit machine. I just want to be sure we have this in our memory so we can clear. Clear does not work here. You just exit, then you clear. So that is what we did in, I think, sorry. Okay, we'll still look at process manipulation. I talked about process manipulation. I'll look at some commands which I shared with you people. Can remember those commands. Then we looked at I think we talked about file permission. Let me see users and groups. I think that's what we just actually looked at just now. Changing. Okay, this users and groups. So basically, we've touched all the necessary essentials and the system. Now, here, if you have any question at this point on Linux essentials, can we just have some minutes of question and answer before we actually move to what we're supposed to treat for this week? Anybody with any question? Okay. In the absence of no question,
Yes, I have a question. Please.
Okay.
Please, do we have to log into Metasploit before we can switch user on Linux?
Now, when you are using SSH, what's the meaning of SSH, please? Anybody? What's the meaning of SSH?
SSH.
What is the meaning of SSH? Secured shell. Secure shell what?
protocol.
This is what I'm trying to avoid, so that it doesn't look as if we come here. Okay, sorry. Okay. So it's a secure shell protocol. Now, what it means is, what is it used for? What do you use SSH for? The command SSH, what do you use it for? Good. Now, you use it for what? Connection. Connecting to a remote system using SSH. Now, let's come here, because you still meet all this. Okay, there's no need. That will be in the Python class. Now, Mr. Adeleke, to answer your question, what we try to do here is that this is a different system. This is a different system. Are you getting it? Now,
Yes.
we want to log in from this system to another system, but we know the IP address of this system. Let me switch user. So we know the use now. Once you see this dollar, you know that you are a normal user. You are not what? A super user, even on the Metasploit. So the first thing we do, what is the IP address? That's IP config. It gives you the IP address. Maybe I did it so fast. This is our IP address. This is the broadcast. Sorry. This is the IP address. This is the broadcast address. This is the subnet mask. That means our network address is what? 192.168.249. Now, when you come back to this place, now I want to actually connect remotely to this system. That's why you use the command SSH. You want to connect as root. You want to connect as what? As MSF admin. So we first connected at MSF admin. Sorry. .192, that's the IP address, 168.249.130. It will ask you for the password. Now, luckily, in this case, we know the password, but in real life scenario, you will not know the password. So you actually, that's the essence of Python. You will not know the password, because if you actually want to, you will not know the password. So you will run the pass over some script of plain text word that will actually now, it will run in the it will run in its iteration. That is what the for loop is all about. You understand? It will run in iteration, then actually pick the password. That's if you're able to crack it. Now we know this one, that's why we're actually writing it. Okay. Sorry, I keep mistaking it for MFS. So that is that. You just exit. You can clear and come and try SSH root at 192.168.249.130. I have this password. I just put it. So that is actually why. So we'll look at more in-depth scenario as we actually move further. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Mr. Adeleke.
Yes, thank you.
Good. So we exit this place. Any other person with any other question? So it should actually stick with you. Is what you should be able to do every now and then. You understand? Those are part of what when you call a lab. This is what a lab is. So maybe this is an SSH lab. You should be able to log. You understand? So we have different tools comes with different kinds of lab. So when you now take different modules, the congregation of them makes you have different multifaceted skills. Now, what was supposed anybody with any further question? Okay, we are supposed we'll be looking at tools. I think in a couple of the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks, we take one tool one day, but we're not taking it in depth. I just want to expose you to most of these tools so that by the time you start meeting them, they are no longer new to you. Now, we have different kinds of tools. We have information gathering tool, we have vulnerability analysis tool, we have one, you treat some here, you treat more. We have penetration testing tools, we have exploitation tools. So what makes you, what you work with is what? Tools. This is what you work with is what? Tools. So having been exposed to those tools are what you now practice as what? Labs. Understanding the concept of those modules now, from those labs, rightly applying those tools are what makes you to scenario are what makes you different. Now, a guy with a gun that cannot shoot very well, when maybe aim very well or cannot aim his target very well, does not know how to use the tool. So it's not just being exposed to the tool, it's knowing what to do with the tool at the right time T. So we'll start with information gathering tool. So what types of information gathering tool do we have? We'll just, like I said, we'll treat them on the surface. We have the Nmap. Now, part of the Nmap is actually what you are writing as your what. If you look at inside those maps, there are Python scripts. Like I just opened one for you, Ghostfisher. Ghostfisher is a tool that is used to actually crack wireless routers. So if you want to hack into wireless routers, you understand, a different place, play a man in the middle. You understand? I think an RF light, you treat all those ones too as we go on. So when we use Nmap, we use things like this. We just look at some basic Nmap commands. I think the first question you should ask him, what do you use Nmap to do? So what exactly do we use Nmap to do? Can anybody answer that question? Now, Nmap is actually used for scanning ports that are open or that are closed. Now, as you can see, can somebody tell me, if you are attacking a system, what are the key credentials you need remotely?
IP address.
Sorry?
IP address.
IP address is one. What else? Sorry, can you say your name, then say your answer so that we can get to, so that everybody can you want to talk? I'm this. Then let's make it talk so that we can hear you very well. Sorry? Okay, just a minute. You'll be learning this. Let me just. Okay. So this is one script you write. This is actually the final project of your port scanner. Let me get out a website, CMD. Okay, there's no need. It converts it even self. So it's showing you all the ports that are open. Now, this particular script actually grabs banner, any of the banner at the port. It shows you what. So all what I'm doing is with my website. I'm not actually attacking any other person's website. So this, now there is a tool called so we have the DNS map. Sorry, just to be sure. Okay. Can you please mute yours? I was wondering. So I'll actually use this as a test. This is my website. Now, if you are actually a penetration tester or somebody actually doing information gathering about this website? What have you been able to gather? I'll share this here. Sorry. So that's the first tool we use to actually get insights into the server IPs. Now, if you want to run another tool, we can clear this. Ctrl C. We change directory to CD Python programs. Then we come down to we run Python 3 port scanner. Sure, let me be sure. So now we can input any of these server IPs to actually see, to grab whatever, to find out if the port, the DNS, the name servers, so we can input any of them. Now that we now know the IP, so 15, we can just copy one, copy selection. So it will give you more insight. So to see if there are banners you can grab there and actually exploit the vulnerabilities. So that is basically what you do, how you exploit. Now you see all those ports, those are once the port is open, you can actually exploit banners grabbed on it, or you can attack from that port. So that's why these tools gives you what? Internal information about what? The ports. So that is what that script does. So back to what we're doing, like I said, tools are actually used to actually have insight. Now, what we are looking at is what? Information gathering tool. As you can see, as I'm implementing those tools, I have more information about what I am trying to gather. Now, for a website is host on a name. It has a name server. It has a DNS server. So we just actually do what? Try to get more information about the name server. That means what? The name. So we can look at the hosting server. Now we can actually try this. That's the mail servers. To see if we can grab anything from there. So if somebody is actually testing, these are the kind of tests they run. You can come back. Paste selection. It's already scanning. So that's to tell you that that particular site is well secured. You cannot grab. You will look at some sites now and see what you can grab. You can try it with different sites, but I can't try any other sites on the recorded training. So it's actually scanning the IPs of those servers to see if there are ports that are open. As you can see, there is port 25 open, there is port 23 open, but there is nothing on it you can actually pick up as open on that port that you can exploit the vulnerability. So when you are doing so on that first server, the only thing open is what? So let's try another IP address. So when you are doing information gathering, this is actually how you gather information on the best track to actually do what? Attack and look out for vulnerability you can exploit within, sorry. Okay. Starting to scan there. Then let's look at the third one. Oh, I think we pasted it wrong, not an IP address. Copy. 192.54.127.242. 192.54.127.242. Control C. Let's be sure. One 198.54.127.242. 198.54. I hope. Okay, let's see if can somebody suggest any other IP address for me? Maybe because you are not seeing anything here. It's let me. This is actually supposed to be. There's supposed to be some information here, but it's already hidden. So you see, it is well secured. So if those information are actually open, you can check if there are vulnerabilities in it and actually exploit them. So that's part of what we mean by what? Information gathering. Okay. Sorry, if you have a question, information gathering. So let me chill a bit. So basically, I'm just trying to, let me open up this particular Python script so that you can see what is in it. So you get to write yours. So this is it. This is the Python script. So this is what it does. So what it does is what? It picks from where? Sorry, I'm not seeing. So from where? I'm not seeing what you're saying. Oh, Control C now, just Control C. Control C. What is that tool is trying to do is what? So let's take it step by step, please. The first tool we are looking at so that we don't jump the gun. I'm just trying to actually show you a full. Now, Nmap, when you are actually scanning everything, computers communicate through ports. We have about 65,000 of them. Now, when you design, those ports run some softwares. Now, those softwares are open to vulnerabilities. So hackers come to exploit those softwares. So when they're attacking a website, apart from the website, you can easily look up any website address, NX lookup, www. Google.com. It shows you the are you seeing? So you can actually, the server address shows you the non-authoritative. You understand? So you can always look up any, and then the next thing you do what? So when they say they are doing penetration testing, now what we are trying to do what? We are looking at information gathering tools. So the information gathering tools, okay, on this website, where is there vulnerability that we can exploit? Which port is open that we can attack? The tool, one of the tools you actually use to do that is what? Nmap. There are different commands, like I said. So you try this. Oh, sorry. They start scanning. So you can scan yours and actually come back to me. So you can, you see, it's come back and say port 53 is open. This is the MAC address. So you can scan yours and actually come back to us with what? The so you can come back to us with your own screenshot yours. So one of the information gathering tool we're looking at today is Nmap. So there are other ones. No. This command for actually looking at ports that are actually open and closed. Now, this is the command for looking at ports that are open and closed. You only use scripts to actually check banner grabber. They call it banner grabber. There are different ways of actually attacking banner grabber. But one of the tools, like I said, the beauty, what makes your work, Mr. Abdulrahman, I'm trying to react to your question. What makes your work more elaborate is the amount of tools that you're exposed to and the amount of them you can use. So let's start trying Mmap command so that when you start using it in actual retraining, you already know it. So that's the first one. Let me screenshot and actually share with you guys. One minute. Let me just quickly use the toilet. I'm coming. So the whole idea is that, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So let's try to nmap the Metaspoil table. I'm not sure nmap scan works on the Metaspoil table. Let me see. He's having issues. I'm only seeing response from Mr. Gbolan. What about the rest people? Why are you not posting what you're doing here? Mr. Ilori, are you on transit or something? Mr. Oluwashola Ayeleru, Mr. Adegbeson, Godwin Chukuma.
I'm in transit actually, but I'm following.
Okay, I thought as much. So what we're looking at is information gathering. So we're just trying to look at from a scratch on the surface. We're actually looking at okay, all right, that's it. So we look at another command. They call it the stilt. Can somebody remind me of the okay, that's fine. Can somebody remind me of the for loop we did for IP in $cat .txt column do nmap still scan port 80 at the speed of T4 $IP ampersand done. Do you guys remember this from your this thing? So we don't have lokpe.txt in this particular this thing. So if I cut, so let me see the dot and see if lokpe.txt is here. Actually, okay, let me copy. Okay, let me ls. What is in lokpe.txt? Okay, so we actually okay, I cannot see. So this pink sweeper. Clear. Do we all remember this for IP? Do we all remember this script, or do we all remember? Or I should just take a pause till we actually get to batch scripting again. Maybe people have forgotten it, but you remember your batch. Let me IP sweeper. Batch IP sweeper .sh 192.168 .249. Okay. So what command do we use to so I think from here we can actually now, if you cut lily.txt, you see it has written it into it. So we can now say for IP, or so that we don't make a mistake, let me bring out the batch. I'll just make it lockby.txt. So it will just write it into the, so if I say for IP in dollar open bracket cat, I just want us to actually refresh our memory. We've done this before and I kept avoiding it. Do nmap. We are taking nmap now. Now we're actually mixing it with batch scripting. Port 80. So we are, the time for the nmap is what? $IP ampersand, then done. So that's it. It has scanned it. It won. So if you remove the ampersand, let's remove the ampersand and just put done and see what will happen. So you see, it will be scanning it in. It will not scan it at once. So host is up. Host is up. HTTP. No, do we all know what port 80 is? Do we all know what port 80 is? Anytime you go to what a website and you actually and you're able to actually do like just www. Let's say google.com. That means if okay, sorry. Change date. So once you're able to do like this, that means port 80 is up. Let me click enter. Control C. So that's that. If we remove the ampersand, I just want to do it without. It's breaking without it. I know it should actually scan. So it gives a proper scan. So if we scroll up, so it scans all. Port 80 is up. On most of the IP, port 80 is up because you can access. Host is up. MAC address. So you want to gather more information about a particular port system, you understand? So that is actually how you do it. So this particular for is actually a batch script for automating what you want to do. So instead of actually scanning one, you can scan multiple IPs at the same time. You understand? So what I did was what? We can remember our IP sweeper on your network. like you have 40 or 50 networks, IP running on, all you just need to do, you come here and say batch IP sweeper .sh, your network address. This is my own network address, .249. So part of what we are teaching is the automation of what you're doing. So you can write it into a file. I wrote them into a file. So all we want to do is, so the script is simple: for IP in cat, do nmap, then done. You actually do what? You declare the variable. The variable is now what? IP. So that is just, if you can remember, Control C. If you can remember the nmap we did just now, nmap. So we'll still do this. Now let's do the tilt nmap so that you can see it clearly. Now this is tilt nmap. Nmap. This is tilt nmap. So this is tilt nmap. So I actually pinged the you can see all the ports that is open on the this is the this is tilt nmap. So let's use the same thing. So can we try this tilt nmap? Okay, all right, that's fine. That's not a problem. Now let's take this is tilt nmap, but the IP address I'm using here, I actually used here, is actually for, sorry. The IP address I'm using here is actually for my what? Metasploit table. I think the connection is wavering. So let me share my screen one more time. So I don't know if you're able to see that. So that is actually using what still scan. We'll take three flavors of Nmap. So what I've done, the first thing I've done is what I actually used the normal. I used an Nmap command. I used the batch file. I used a still scan. Then we'll use another command soon. So that T4 is the speed, while that now you see something like this Nmap. $65,535 192.168.249.130. So it will scan everything. It will scan all the ports. It will scan all the ports. So you see all the ports from all the ports that are open. So you can take this again and actually add that to the example. So that'll be what we'll be taking for what Nmap. So real-time application, we'll look at it when we get to. So those are part of the tools. So can you do yours and let me see how far you have gone? I'm waiting for response, please. Okay. Today the class is a little bit quiet.
So for every of my Nmap, I'm keep getting the same result. I don't know what is wrong. Please let me check.
Just screenshot and send. Screenshot and send. Screenshot and send, please. Okay. Let's see. But that's not the command for. Okay. And simply because how many systems do you have on currently? What is the IP address of your of your Metasploit table, Mr. Solomon? What is the IP address? Is scanning. That's what is on your system. That is the only port that is up on your network. Are you getting it? What is the IP address of your Metasploit table? Mrs. Temitope, I don't understand your question. You need internet network for what? You need internet network for what? I don't understand your question.
Actually, I am on that Metasploit, so that is the IP on it.
No, but this is not Metasploit that is showing you. Go to the Metasploit and actually click on the IP address.
Yes, I just did. That is what I've sent.
IF config. Snap the IF config of the.
I just sent.
Sorry. Let me see. 192.168.195. I can't see this particular one. Sorry, let me try to look at it here. This is 128. This is 129. There are different IPs. You are pinging your system. Can you actually do Nmap for 129 and see the result it's going to give to you? Solomon, can you hear me? Mr. Solomon, can you hear me? Your
I've seen the difference.
your Kali Linux is 128. Your Nmap, your Metasploit table is 129. Can you do for 129?
Yes, I've done it. And it gave me results.
It gave you a different result, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that is the only system, that is the only port that is up on your network. That is why you are getting same result.
Oh,
So that's why it's like that. That's
so
the only port that is up on that system.
so
Now
that means
let's move.
sorry. That means the two ports that I'm having, one is not working and one is up.
It's not that the ports can either be open or closed. Not
Okay.
all ports are open. You have about 65,535 ports. Not all ports are open. Depending on the service process ID, a port can be open. Now, people gain vulnerability to your system by an open port during a particular process. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Now, so it's not like maybe the port is faulty, it's not faulty. It's just that there's no need to use any of those ports at those particular times. That is why they are not open. Now, the more you are using your system for different process, different ports are open. So I want to hack into your system. I have your IP address, I have your port. So I come in through there. Are you getting it clearly now?
Very. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So let's move to the other topic. We are still on information gathering. Now let's look at search exploit. You can come here, come to this part. So this is search exploit. So how do you use it? You can just say, let me be sure I'm spelling it very well. This search, Abby. Let me be sure I am spelling it very well. SEARHRCHSPLOIT. So it shows you all the vulnerabilities that you can actually. So when they say something, no be my, no be beans. So to actually say the Bible say, if we will go into a strong man house to go and actually, you have to prepare very well, gather your information. So if you are gathering information about an attack you're about to do, it's a detailed one. So this another tool you use to actually do it is what? Search exploit. So this is one of the ways. Examples are this, how you use the command. Sorry. This is how you use the command. So they call it search. So that's that. So when we leave here, we're looking at DNS tools now. We'll be looking at DNS tools. So you can do that command and actually screenshot and actually send back to me. Okay. But I just did it now. Just one minute, please. One minute. Let me just quickly send this thing to this guy. Okay. Affiliates. Okay. So, Mrs. Temitope, when you come here, you go by this side of your Kali line, or just type search SEAR. It comes up immediately. This is your search exploit. When you launch it, it launches. So you can see SEARCH SPO. That's search exploit. So I gave examples of what you can use it for. That's actually why I pasted. So you see, you have to run. So that's it. So do you now know how to run the command? So you can locate it from either of the icons and you run it immediately. Yeah, that's it. So those are other information gathering to now. The level of information you get there, you can read through, but the bulk of it will be disbursed at the module level. So we are going to DNS tools.
Boss, excuse me.
Yes.
Boss, in using this mmap and search plot, what are we really looking for in the commands, in this command, for the result they're producing? What are the lookout points that we are searching
Now,
for?
let me reiterate. We are looking at information gathering tools.
Okay.
Now, when you actually want to do vulnerability analysis or penetration testing, you gather information. There is passive information gathering. There is active information gathering. Now, let me take you down this part so that you can see it. Document. If you want to actually plan a hit, I don't know how to do it, to say it. You actually have to gather information about the place you are going to. If you are planning an attack, are you getting it? You gather information. Okay, this particular port is always up. This is the one. Are you with me?
Yes.
Why is it not opening? Okay, so come here. This is penetration testing. So to tell you that what you are learning, you're just scratching it at the surface, but you still come back to look it very deep. So we're looking at tools. So there are different kinds of tools, but I'll just treat very few of it. Planning and collecting information. Passive information gathering. Are you getting it? Active information gathering. Are you seeing it? Nmap, yeah. Port identification, scanning over for OS version, uncovering service version, aggressive scanning. So I'm just touching the surface. So you will go very deep at the module level. So you go very deep. So basically, when you are scanning, it's like I said, when the ports are open, I showed you example, I displayed the example. Now, just that for training purposes, I'm not supposed to be using someone's website as an hacking tool. That's actually why I see we use our. There's some websites you go to, when you run those scripts on it, it brings, when you see port open, their what OS, operating system running, it will show you what's running on the port. Now, with those operating system, there is what vulnerability, CV. When you go to internet as a CV vulnerability, it pops out the list. There are lists of them. So you can just look there and from there you exploit, you understand? You exploit them immediately. That is how people attack a system. Are you getting it? So you see it's no longer on the surface. So now, once you know that you see a website, the website has some servers in it. Maybe the mail server, the name server, the database server. Or how did you think they act down? What is his name? Niger Bet. It's what this is what you're doing. You understand? But in a more advanced mode, you're able to actually inject what a code into the database. It actually encrypted all the database. Are you getting it? It encrypted all their database, and before you know, they are demanding ransom from them. Are you getting it? So you get to those parts. So what we're looking at, we're just touching all the surface. So now we've looked at Nmap, we looked at Searchploit, now looking at DNS tools. Now we look at some DNS tools and what they do. So there's one. So when you use this tool, you write the domain name of the site you are trying to look at. So you see, it gives you enough information about the site. You can see you are looking at the name of the servers, the mail server. Now it's trying to do zone transfer, but is doing brute forcing already. So these are what penetration testing tools that you use to actually look at websites inner. So by typing this, it's showing you everything about the website. So all these things you see will be explained in depth. So what we just want to touch it on the surface at this point. Just scratch the surface so that you are getting used to the tools. So we still have DNS map, we have DNS tracer, we have the load balance, LBD, Control C. So can you try this on your own, any website you think from your laptop, just any website you think on your own? This class is too quiet today. I only have 2 or 3 people here.
Please kindly paste
I'm
on
coming.
WhatsApp, please.
Okay. Sorry. So okay, I will share it with you now. So you can try that out on any website and actually get back. I'm here to see screenshots. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that looks more like a Stack Overflow. Okay. Uh-huh. So you see. So when you start using other, that's good. That's cool. Mrs. Grace, stop attacking our website. Too. It's not allowed. I'm the only one allowed to attack my website. So attack your website. Okay. So it's actually an attacking tool. No, no, I'm just joking. So if we are okay with that, let's look at DNS Tracer. So all these are information gathering tools. Can you please mute your microphone? I mean your mic is actually creating some noise on the background. So you can start trying any website. You can see what it's doing. It's actually tracing DNS. The DNS means what, please? Please, DNS means what? Okay, good. Domain name service. Okay. So you can actually run the DNS tracer. You see it keeps going on. I've said I'll actually do a responder run, but I want us to actually, now that we started. Mr. Yusuf Abdurrahman, you're on your own. No. I'm not there. Oh. You're on your own. That's what it looks like, though. So if you are called to do any, that is what it shows you. So Mr. Solomon that is looking for password cracking, you see that there are thousands and one tools. You are the one that will get tired. You understand? It's not about password cracking. You understand? So there are 1,001 tools to use. So I'll Control C, you try this, it keeps going on. You try this on your own. That's DNS Tracer, the name of the domain. Now we look at the, so we've looked at DNS Tracer. Now let's look at DNS Map. So this one gets stuck here. This nearness map gets. Yes, you are sorry, you have to install all those tools before it works. Yeah, you have to install them. Once you type it, it's saying it's not working, it will ask you to install them. You have to install all of them before it works, please. And if your system, maybe you've actually no, you don't need to. By the time you type DNS tracer, it will prompt you and you just install. You don't need to actually apt-get installed. Once you just type it, it will ask you it is not available. Do you want to install? Just press Y, yes, it will install it automatically. No need for long story. Okay, sorry, one minute, please. So this DNS map, let me screenshot DNS map. So let me Control C. Then DNS tracer. So it for this time around, it did not actually go very fast. So this is what DNS tracer gives. So that's DNS tracer. So you have to install all these stuffs. Then I think the last one we're looking at is LBD, load balancing. Now it shows that there is load balancing on the server. It shows clearly that there is load balancing on the server, LBD. It shows you that there is load balancing on the server, load balancing detector. Okay, good. That's DNS tracer. So this is load balancing. So load balancing means it checks when we say load traffic balancing on the server. Now that's traffic balancing on your server. So it's another point of exploit. Now, when it does not do load balancing, it's another venue for people to actually exploit that particular website. So all the tools we have looked at now are what? Information gathering. Sorry, they are information gathering tools. Like I said, but these ones we are looking at, they are active information gathering, not passive information gathering. Yes, you have to install DNS Tracer. You have to install all those stuff. Mr. Jesupe Mwale, did you backdate your system? Please bring your system back to today's date first. Bring your system back to today's date. Because the only reason why you were, bring your system back to today's date. Yeah. That DNS. So all those are configuration on the system to protect that system. So we've come to the end of today's class. Next, on Wednesday, we pick it up from there. We'll look at what vulnerability analysis tool. Then we look at some wireless and what. Tomorrow's class is Python. It's not Kali Linux. Tomorrow's class is Python. So the next time you're taking Kali Linux is on Wednesday. There's class all through this week as we have agreed, but there's no class on what? On Monday. So there's no class on Monday. As we have agreed that there's class all through this week, but there's no class on Monday. I am not sure you have, okay. I am not sure you have DNS Tracer. Okay, good. It is not at the we have traceroute. How do you use traceroute? How do you use traceroute? Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, that's traceroute. Now let's use DNS tracer. Mr. Ekene, are you seeing the difference? Mr. Ekene, are you seeing the difference? Okay. So in this one, you actually get access to more information. Like, let me just screenshot this. Like, you don't know, you just know there are ops on traceroute. Here, you already seen a server. This is an information. You've already seen that they are with this, that false DNS, you are confirming this server, you are confirming this server IP. I see. So these are a lot of information for you to actually exploit. So that's the difference. Both of them are actually tracing route, but one is actually giving you access to more information. So we'll take a chill pill here today. When we come, we'll look at vulnerability analysis tool and penetration testing tool on Wednesday. Tomorrow we continue with Python class. So I've said you should actually rate. I don't know. Are you guys, are we moving? Are we making progress? Are we moving forward? At least you are being exposed to tools, then you are getting a broader view compared to where you started from. When I say God have mercy, why did you say so? Tomorrow we're moving to Python. The Python has about 5 projects. While this one, I think we've finished all the projects, but I'll try to make up like 2 projects from the Kali Linux. Why do you say God have mercy? Mr. Bola, why do you say God have mercy? So we will take a chill pill here. We'll move to the other 2 tomorrow. So the whole idea of these tools is to actually give you, expose you to it already before you now start taking them in labs. You meet more of it before you start taking them in labs. So I'll pause here. If you have any question to ask, you can ask. Did you, Mr. Jesupemi, did you backdate your system? Yes or no? Because I just found out today that might be the problem, because most of these things you are downloading it from internet. If the Kali Linux does not have access to internet, you'll not be able to download. Did you backdate your system? Did you backdate your system? Yes or no? It is not this problem that is having problem. Did you backdate your system? Present date. So we'll take a pause here. So I will see you guys tomorrow, same time. We'll be taking Python training. So I don't know if anybody has question, please. Now, in a summary, when you are gathering information, everything about the inner content of the website are things, as you gain experience, you'll be seeing what people can easily exploit about a website. Now, all you looked at is web app security. Yes, I can share. I've been sharing it with you, but I will share all the ones for the essentials of this thing. I'll share them with you people now on the platform. All the PDFs for last week, I'll share all of them with you. I've been sharing, but I don't know, maybe you've not been receiving it, but I'll reshare everything for last week. I'll share them with you. Now for this one, this particular week, I will share it with you. Mr. Jesupemi, you shouldn't have a problem installing ordinary DS Tracer, except there's something wrong with the system. Are you sure you changed the date? All right. We'll call it a day here. Mr. Jesupemi, you set up I'll set up a Google link with you to actually look at what's wrong with you. So guys, we'll meet tomorrow. In the absence of no question, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time.